moment. Surely he's still got a lot of cricket.
154.
He's been clocked in excess of 150, which in the history of international cricket, any cricket generally, very few bowlers have bowled. And it was that kind of X factor, that raw pace that saw him get signed in the Caribbean Premier League. It's been picked up in a few franchise leagues. There's no official retirement of any kind, no official. Just the information we have, he's not available for the moment. And as a consequence, we saw it in the last game 2 days ago, Sampal Kami returning here rather than Gulshan Jah being introduced. Change of ends for Kami. You have that samey sort of Scottish attack. That's why kind of almost been forced, isn't it, to give it David.
And he just changes that attack.
The rope. It's over pitched, yes. It's actually the longest corner of the ground, but it will still get there. That's a beautiful way to bring up the 50, isn't it? Carrying Scotland right now.
A really nice use of the wrists as he guided that ball. It might have been the longest part of the point. Sharif and McMullen. But then they had the left arm of Brad Curry, who is a genuine wicket taker. So you had that option there as well. They've obviously got the off spin of Leask. They had the leg spin of Chris Greaves that they could call on. And then, of course, the left arm magician work of Mark Watt. So that was such a varied attack. You really had so many options. And then you had the likes of Gavin Main coming in or your Brad Wheels. And now it does feel like with the bowlers that they have available, that variation is just with. And then you felt that they had like 12 to 18 months ago at the times when they had more players available. And obviously the players have different personal circumstances as well. It's tough surviving as an associate cricketer.
Pulled by Barrington, well in front to square. Boundary slightly bigger out to that leg side with us being on the same pitch. It's 63 metres out there, only 59 metres to the offside. That's where some have been targeting. 12.
Pachuri, a wool cashmere scarf.
Yeah, it's just a Nepali pashmina, a pachuri.
Yeah, pachuri. Okay, so I didn't do too bad.
It's something every single trip to Nepal that I take, I will always bring back at least 4 or 5 of them and gift them to. Actually, I've never got you one. That's poor from me.
Yeah, what on earth?
But yeah, generally they make a lovely gift, and they're beautiful, really beautifully produced with gorgeous patterns and elegant traditional Nepali designs. But yeah, if you do want to get in touch, use that hashtag CWCL2. That stands for Cricket World Cup League 2. Andrew Leonard here at Cricket Badge, and Mel Farrell. Type in Mel's name, it'll pop up immediately. Send us a direct message if you would like to get one, which I actually meant to mention this morning very early. He didn't tell me where he's coming from, but he said, I'm currently at 3:23 a.m. en route to Dundee, driving up. So I presume from probably somewhere down near London. Amazing commitment from fans to get up here. We're expecting a very good crowd that continues to build. People are still flocking through the gates actually as we speak, and we'll have another wonderful atmosphere today, I suspect. Down the leg side, good hand from Asif Sheikh is going to save 2 runs. That would have raced away to the rope. The brothers working in tandem together, Arif the elder and Asif the younger. And Raghu says, well, the Dakatopi is a man's wear, but you won't be criticised for wearing it. Some women occasionally wear it. And Nepalis are generally very laid back unless it's about Momo. And I've had a couple of them say, oh, well, they're just, they say, what are Momo? And I'll be like, you just have to really taste them to find out. And then they look at them and you show them a photo and they go, oh, well, they're just dumplings. I said, no, really. And the variety and difference of them all. Yeah, and there is plenty of Nepalese restaurants across the United Kingdom, isn't there? There's plenty of places you can go to get them.
Well, yeah. Actually, there's a lot of Nepalese restaurants, even in my hometown of Australia.
Huge, they look at them and you show them a photo and they go, oh, they're just dumplings. I said, Paddy diaspora. No, really incredible inside edge. And probably going to race to the ropes. Palkami won't cut it off. Here, a little bit fortunate. 2 inside edges in that over. And Arif Sheikh a bit unlucky. 6 runs end up coming off the bat. 7 in total. It's 60 for 2.
Nepalese restaurants, even in. Yes, I was very excited as we see that. Could have gone anywhere really. Chased a wide one. It came back in a little. But when I went back home to discover that there is a new Nepalese restaurant in my hometown of Orange, and they do specialise in Momo, and that was a very exciting moment for me. Momo comes to Orange.
Do the halfway up middle guys getting in touch. We heard from both of them 2 days ago. It's a Scottish League record from anything that anyone can tell. On a wet day, they've posted 501 for 3. And who was at it again? Ollie Hares. Don't rule him out. Finding your way back into the T20 action. 196 off 89 deliveries. Dragged down. You do not bowl there to Richie Berrington. That's going to go all the way. Smoked for 6. A fine, fine shot. It's his favourite shot, isn't it? He's always going to put that away. Long hop to get things going for Lamachani, the leg spinner. And that is just pulverised for 6.
Such a good player of spin. Loves to play square of the wicket. And anytime he's given width, anytime he's given a ball that sits up, he will put it away.
Well, this is a place I've been in before. My first ball of my spell, you're always nervous, you're cold, it's difficult in these conditions, these temperatures, to get the blood feeling in your fingers. And bowling leg spin is the most difficult art. It wasn't a good delivery, it was a drag down. And he's picked that length up so well. And look at the way he's hammered that all the way for 6. And now it's the horror of knowing the ball is lost. Credit to the crowd, somebody's managed to find it. You have a 4 or 5 minute break, or 2 or 3 minute break in play, and you've bowled one ball, you've gone for 6.
Yeah, and you've got plenty of time to think about it as well.
It's horrible. It's and this is why, remember I was telling you last week about Bobby Rayo, my first ever leg spinning coach. You've got to earn your spell, because the modern captains leg break bowlers much more sensitively now. And they do give them protection, and they find ways to, even if they have an expensive couple of overs, to come back. The problem was, 20 years ago, your first over went for 12. That was it for the day. You were done. Because the run rates weren't quite what they are now. But pressure immediately on Lamachani. Really good batting from Richie Berrington. Because the modern captains leg break bowlers much more sensitively now. And they do give them protection, and they find ways to, even if they have an expensive couple of overs, to come back.
Is this the first time?
The problem was, 20 years ago,
I
think he might have bowled one over from this end the last day, but definitely at least 9 of the overs are from the nursery end. He's had a change of ends. The reason why, Mel, it's the bigger leg side boundary today, so It's only 4 metres. You might think, what's the difference? But he would have wanted to bowl from the nursery end with the way the wind was going, but he'll have felt 59-metre boundary, don't fancy it. That's where I think you need a bit of bravery as a captain and as a young leg spinner. He's still a young man, Sandeep Lamichhane, and say, no, I'm going to go with the conditions in my favour. I'm going to trust I'm not going to bowl a short one. It's not the right line.
Oh,
They'll dash a single. Arif Sheikh doing the fielding. Close.
Oh, boy. That was close. Luckily, there was no hesitation from a Scotland point of view. Hey, we haven't actually mentioned the wind today when you talk about conditions. And
Arif Sheikh doing the fielding.
Probably
Close.
the most pleasant it's been, I think. It was a little bit warmer today, and the wind, there's still a breeze if you look at the flags, but it's not nearly as ferocious as we have seen it. Those first 2 games, particularly that second game, they were honestly just incredibly difficult conditions for all involved.
It's a nicer line. I like that line as a leg spinner in ODI cricket. You might think, well, hold on, you're not challenging the stumps. You might not be from this delivery. As you get another look at that run-out replay, he was safely home even with a direct hit.
Good dive.
Yeah, very good dive. Brings your googly into play. That's the line. Perfect line. Whether it's the leg break or the googly, bowl there. I know he's been cut away for a couple, but look at your field. You've got a slip fielder and you've got a backward point. You've got that protection in the deep. If Tier doesn't pick it, that's the googly. He gets himself in big trouble. You can have an edge off a leg break to first slip. It's 9 runs from Lamichhane's first over, 14 bowled, 69 for 2. Field. You've got a slip fielder in, you've got a backward point, you've got that protection in the deep. If Tier doesn't pick it, that's the googly. He gets himself in big trouble. You can have an edge off a leg break to first slip. It's 9 runs from Lamichhane's first over, 14 bowled, 69 for 2.
This is quite something from Charlie Tier. Now,
Well, Will is asking, what about Josh Davies, Scott Curry, Bradley Will, Michael Jones? Where are they? County deals aside, are they available? In Brad and Scott Curry's case, yes, I think absolutely. Brad Will, we saw him playing in Texas. Michael Jones was there too, but the reality is their primary employers are the counties. I think Cricket Scotland, Steve Snell, the performance director, Doug Watson, the head coach, I think they try their very best to work with the counties and have a bit of pragmatism. The one that surprised me is Andrew Mee.
Some of them we can't read on here, I'll be honest.
I'm sure there's been second 11 games
we
for him
won't.
to be playing. I know Somerset pay his wages.
There's a passion amongst the Nepal fans you wouldn't believe. As
more
Bim
beneficial
Sharkey
to him
dives
to be
and
up here,
stops
to be
wonderfully well.
playing for high
Will is
quality
asking,
ODIs.
what about Josh Davies, Scott Curry, Bradley Will,
came back for that kind of
Michael Jones?
that very
where are
long
they? County deals aside,
wait
are
to
they
get back into
available?
the team.
In Brad and Scott Curry's case, yes, I think absolutely. Brad Will, we saw him playing in Texas.
well, he has been playing second
Michael
11
Jones was there too, but the reality is their primary employers
quite
are
very
the
recently,
counties.
4th
I think
of
Cricket
June.
Scotland, Steve
There
Snell,
you go. So he's been playing
director.
second 11 for Somerset.
But he's not in the
Head
T20
coach.
Blast team.
No. So
Is it not more beneficial for Somerset for him to be here? Because he's going to play their 50 over stuff, he's going to play their List A stuff. Or sorry, their first class stuff in the 4-day County Championship. That's what his role is for Somerset. He's not in the mix of the T20 team, and the 3 second 11 games he's played in the T20 format, he's gone 13, 2 and 5.
Came back for that kind of.
He's not that kind of player. He's a proper old-fashioned, really good, longer format batter. Is it a case that Somerset didn't know that he wouldn't be in the T20 team? Is it a case that Scotland didn't want to risk picking him and him then not being able to get up the road?
well, it could have been any of those without
But he's not in the
without
T20
knowing
team.
and being privy to those discussions.
Is
But
it not more beneficial for Somerset?
I'd love to see him here.
Because he's going to play their 50 over stuff.
Good
But
question from Will.
is
We
a
don't
really
have
good question.
we don't have the answer really. We're speculating as
That's
opposed to
what his role is.
to knowing.
He's not in the mix of the T20 team and the
But
three.
I mean, it's just a constant thing, and they have become very pragmatic about it, Scotland. And
He's
it's
not
not
that
just
kind of player.
players being, but playing for counties either. Other circumstances where they can't get time away
Time
from
off work. Gavin Main, the perfect example. They'd love to have him here, I've no doubt. 15 have been bowled. It's the end of the first session. It, as always, has been a very interesting one. Scotland may be just edging things after those two early Karen KC breakthroughs, but overall